Hello again, everyone. Hopefully you had a chance to watch the welcome video that went through the course website on Canvas and also the syllabus. If you have not watched that one, you should turn this one off right now and go back and watch that one first because this is a follow-up to that one. So, welcome to week one. As I said in the previous video, every week we'll have a video to watch, a reading to do, and then at least one kind of writing to do. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the reading that we have for this week and the writing that you're supposed to do, and then give you a little preview of some of the writing that's coming up because we have kind of one big project that we'll be working on for this 7 weeks. And the sooner you get started on it, the better you're going to do. So just give you a preview. So one of the things I wanted to mention was some of the main purposes of this course. So I talked about that a little bit in the previous video, but this one I want to get into a little more details. So one of the main purposes is for you to start thinking about writing in a more broad sense. So to have a more complex understanding, a more critical understanding of what writing is and can be. Most of you, if you came to college straight from high school, you were taught a pretty narrow version of what writing is and what writing can be. So you learned how to write the 5-paragraph essay, and you're probably very good at it. The teachers in high school were trying to get you prepared to take the ACT or the SAT and get you prepared to take Composition 1 and things like that. But what they really did was just give you that narrow slice of what writing really is. When you got to college and you took Composition 1, they continued teaching you more about that kind of academic argument kind of writing. In this class, our job, my job, is to help you see writing as more than just that narrow slice that is academic writing, but also the genre I like to call school essay. So there's lots of different versions of school essay, but there are many similarities across all those versions. So the genre that you know well probably at this point is what I like to call school essay. In this class, we're going to look at other genres. And I want to define the word genre for you. I did this in the previous video a little bit too, but I want to define that for you so that you have a better idea of what that means. So a genre is a type of writing that is used for one specific kind of situation. So mostly they have titles like school essay or email or poem or novel or report. All of those are different genres. If the type of writing has a name, magazine article, newspaper article, if it has a name like that, then it's a genre. And that may be different than how you thought of the word genre in the past, but that's how we will use the word genre in this class. And one of the main things that we want to start to think about is how your writing skills have to adapt for each different genre that you're writing for. So you can't write an email to your professor in the same way that you write a text message to your best friend, or the same way that you write a school essay, or the same way that you would write a poem. All of those are different genres, and therefore you have to write differently. And that's kind of intuitive. You probably know that already kind of intuitively, but in this class, we're going to kind of make that more explicit and more in the forefront of our minds, so that when we do writing assignments or whatever, we can explicitly think about that. So you want to be able to really think through, okay, this is a genre that is different than I have ever written before, and therefore I need to figure out how it needs to be written. So if, for example, you're writing something called a project report, that's a different genre than a school essay. So if your teacher asks you to write a project report and you don't know what that means, then you need to figure that out, because if you write it just like it was a school essay, you're probably not going to get a very good grade on it, unfortunately, because you wrote it like a school essay when it wasn't. And so you have to write using what we like to call conventions of the genre that you're being asked to write. And the conventions are just the things that are normally done in that particular genre. So that's what we're going to be working towards throughout this course. And we're going to be focusing on one particular genre for you, and that is a genre that you choose from your particular major or career path. Okay, so I'll start off by talking a little bit about the reading, and then I'm going to talk about some of the writing assignments that are going to go along with this idea of investigating that particular genre that you're going to choose. So the reading for this week is from Downes and Wardle's first year composition textbook called Writing About Writing. And so this is the introduction to that book. And so it is written for you as audience members. It's a textbook that's used in classes just like this all over the country. So it's very easy to read. It's written for you as the audience. It's one of the longer ones that we're going to read this term, but it's only like 15 pages at most, and it's not hard reading. But what I really want you to pay attention to when you're reading is the two stories of writing. So the first story is the one you were probably taught either explicitly or implicitly, implied to you in high school. And I want you to think about whether or not you were taught that story and why you think you were, and then really think through the second story and why you think that might be a better story about writing and why that seems more accurate, or why at least that you think Downes and Wardle think that second story is more accurate. And then I specifically want you also to think about the part where they're talking about the ways that different people value writing in different ways. So they say that an English teacher and an engineer would look at the exact same piece of writing and value it very differently because of their position as an English teacher or an engineer, but also because of what their field, their career path values in writing. So this is really important because if you are writing, like most of your writing that you have done has probably been for English teachers. You write in other classes, yes, but most of you were taught to write in an English class. You did more writing in English class than any other class. And so you know how to write for an English teacher. However, once you get out of this class, you're going to be writing for all sorts of people who are not English teachers. They might be biologists or historians or whatever in throughout the university. But then when you are writing for things outside of the university, they're going to be all sorts of other people from other kinds of disciplines and communities, and they will value things very differently when it comes to writing. So you have to figure out, okay, I know how to write for an English teacher, but how do I write for a biologist? How do I write for a psychologist, etc.? So those are the parts to keep in mind the most in that reading. The only writing assignment for this week is a summary and response to that reading. So summarize the main arguments in one paragraph, and then in a second paragraph, give me a response. And I don't want you to just give your opinion about whether you agree or not, because that's simple. You can just say, yeah, I agree. I want you to really think about whether or not your experience aligns with what they're saying. If you want to respond to those two stories, you could tell me how that first story really does align with your experience and why you think that's true. Or if it doesn't align, you can tell me that too. Something like that. I have given you on the assignment prompt some questions to think about. You don't need to answer every single one of those questions, but those are ones to kind of think about that might help you to figure out how you want to respond to that particular text. So no, it's not hard. I'm not gonna, as I said in the previous video, all the grading is basically credit, no credits, although I give partial credit if it's like not long enough or things like that. So no worries, like there should be no anxiety about what grade you're gonna get in this class as long as you do the work. I think everyone should get an A. Yeah. So don't worry about it. Just write the thing and it'll be fine. Okay, but I do want to really quickly give you a preview of one of the main projects we're going to do. So I'm going to share my screen here for a second, and then I'll walk you through this. So I will just read through this really quickly, but and then give some further information. So the next main project that we're going to do is a genre analysis. So you're going to have to collect 3 examples of a genre from your major or career path. So I'll just read through this and then give you some more information. The purpose of this paper is for you to figure out the kinds of professional writing that are done within your major or future career and how that writing is used. What genres are important, what is the purpose of those genres, why they are written the way they are, etc. You will need to collect 3 examples of a professional genre that is used in your major or your profession that you hope to go into. For example, if you are a biology major, you might choose to analyze scientific research reports. If you are a business major, you might look at budget plans. Your goal then will be to examine in depth how the genre as a whole functions within its rhetorical situation. Your job is to explain the strategies and tactics of your selected genre, what its characteristics are, what its purpose is, how it works, why it works, to whom and in what context it works, etc. The purpose of this genre analysis is to continue investigating what it means to write like a member of the discourse community you are intending to join. To understand how genres work within a specific context, you will make a claim about the expectations of these documents and explain how those expectations correspond with what you know about the context that informed the production of the genre, and how the features of the genre help the genre achieve its overall purpose. Your main claim for the paper is an explanation of the social action of the genre. Why does the genre exist? What work does this genre do in the world? To clarify, you are collecting 3 examples of the same genre, not 3 different genres. So if you are a business major, you should have, for example, 3 business plans, not a business plan, a finance report, and a budget plan, right? Those are 3 different genres. We want 3 examples of the same genre. Your paper should be 3 to 4 pages long, type double-spaced, 1-inch margins, all of that stuff. You can use MLA or APA if you're documenting sources and for a works cited page. Okay, so a lot of that stuff there was probably words you didn't understand, and that's perfectly fine. So things like rhetorical situation, discourse community, those things are things that we will learn in the next week or so. So if some of that was like, whoa, I don't even know what you're saying, don't even worry about it. You will understand as we get closer to when you're actually writing this paper. The reason I wanted to show you this assignment prompt now, though, is because you do need to start working on collecting those 3 examples of your professional genre fairly soon. So if you look at the course site on Canvas, you will see that one of the assignments is to upload your examples, and that is next week. So you're going to want to, I think I wrote on Canvas, I said begin collecting examples on next week's, but really it'd probably be better if you begin collecting those this week, and then so that you can have all 3 of them ready to upload next week, and then I can look at them and make sure that you really do have 3 examples of the same genre and not 3 different genres, or etc. I mean, just to double check that you're gathering the right kinds of documents. So of course, if you have any questions about any of that, just let me know, email me and I will get back to you right away. And so I think that is it for today. So do the reading, do the summary, begin looking for your professional genres, and if you have any questions, just email me and I will get right back to you. All right, I will see you next time.